about the book talk about effective training strategy. And our topic today is about the reading skill. And you can ask the reference or ask the handout. You can use your textbook. This book you can use it for your handout and to take notes. Actually, I don't print it for you because we don't have any budget. Sorry about that. But I'll send slide into our group. Okay, I'll send slide into a group, and then you can make a copy by yourself. And this is our group member, as the teacher mentioned earlier. And the next one is about our table of content. Our content, the first one is to talk about what is reading. And 1.1 talk about the reading skill and processes. And 1.2 we discuss about understanding what happened in the reader minds. 1.2.1 we talk about the scheme theory. And the 1.2.2 we talk about the bottom-up theory and top-down theory and interactive theory. And the 1.3 we talk about type of reading. And the next one, 1.3.1 we talk about intensive reading. 1.3, 1.2 talk about intensive reading. And 1.3.3 we talk about reading aloud. And now let's move on to the first one altogether about what is reading. I'm gonna give you, okay, this is the, before I go through to the number one, what is reading, I would like you to know about learning outcome first. What you will know after our lesson. After having completed presentation, you will be able to identify some keywords related to the reading skill, clarify theory in reading skill, and the last one is describe type of reading skill. Okay? And this is our keyword. You will know about this keyword along to my presentation. We have 6 keywords: receptive skill, decoding, CPU, intensive reading, extensive reading, encoding, skimming, and scanning. You will know about these keywords along our presentation. And this is about what is reading. Reading happens in the reader mind, as you know, and reading is not easy to see. Recording a concept is abstract. You cannot see it very well. You know, you read in your brain. It's in contrast, it's different from the writing skill. Writing skill, you can write it down and you can see it easily. But reading is not easy to see and observe because it happens in the reader mind. How can you see? How can you observe? Okay, this is about the reading. And the next one we talk about the reading skill and process. This point we talk about the reading skill and its process. And reading, we consider reading skill as a receptive skill. As you know, in English, we have 4 main skills, right? Writing, listening, speaking, and listening. Therefore, 2 macro skills, writing and speaking. Writing and speaking we call productive skill. Listening and reading we call receptive skill. It means that listening we get information from our reading. We get new information. We get experience from our reading. The more you read, the more you know. That's because reading is the receptive skill. We get it from the other source, from the printing text, from the other textbook. You can get information from it. Therefore, we call reading skill is receptive skill. And also, reading skill, we can consider it as a decoding process. As you know, everyone, do you know what decode means? No. Okay. The word that comes along with the decode is encode. For example, I explained you about reading is the decode process. It means that you are a reader, you have to describe, you have to analyze about the printing text which written by the writer. That's why you have to encode that message. You have to clarify, you have to describe what does this message mean for you to make you understand. Decode. It means that they describe and identify the message from the text, from the printing text. And the writer have encode the message. Encode means that they write the message, they hide the message they hide the meaning in the message. Therefore, as you are a reader, you have to understand about the text well. You have to encode it out to make you understand and to get the meaning from the text. And then you make it understand. That we call decode process. Reading is decode process. It means that you describe and identify and clarify the meaning which in the message of the writer that the writer encoded. And next one, reading is also we call cognitive skill or thinking skill. As you know, when you read, you have to think. What does it mean? You have to identify the meaning, and you have to use your brain to think, critical thinking, in order to get information. Especially with the when you have a test, you always have the comprehensive question or general question. That's what we call to test your ability, to test your thinking along with the reading text. How do you know? How much do you know? How many percent that you get from the reading text? And that's why reading is process of thinking skill. When you read and you think, you read and you think. What does the writer mean? What does the printed text mean? What does the text mean? What does the text talk about? Therefore, you have to think. For example, if the text talk about the teaching methodology, you read and you think. You have to think. That's called cognitive process or thinking process. Happen in your brain. Your brain start thinking to identify the meaning, to identify the information that go into your brain. That's all for the cognitive skill. And the next one is about reading is an interactive and engaging skill. It means that you are a reader, you have to involve with the writer. Especially when you read about the Tung Tiêu. You are a reader. Sometimes you feel you cry because of the writer, right? It means that in this happen, we call interactive skill. It means that you get involved with the writer. You can't see everything, but you can imagine in your brain. And then we call it is interactive skill. The writer can show you along with the message, and then you decode the message, and then you imagination you can see it. That's called interactive and engaging skill. You are a reader and the writer go together. You read the writer mind. You are a reader. You read the writer mind. What he or she talking about. Get it? Yes. And next one. It is the question that come along with 1.2, understanding what happened in the reader mind. This is the question that happened, that come up. How does the reader understand what he or she reading? How does a reader make sense of printed word? What is the reader thinking? What he or she is thinking? To answer this difficult question, the researcher or the book has mentioned four main theory. The first one we talk about the scheme theory, and the second one talk about the bottom-up theory. Third one talk about the top-down theory, and the last one talk about the interactive reading theory. In order to clarify and answer the question, my group member will present you about this four main theory. Let's move to Chanat. The part is about the scheme theory.
So everyone look at point 1.2.1. Scheme theory. It's planned that when a reader reads, his or he bring a lot of knowledge and experience to enrich with the printed right. It's involved linguistic schema, contextual schema, and schematic schema. Do you know, everyone, do you know linguistic schema? Linguistic schema is the background of the language when then we have learned. And contextual schema, the situation, and then we have with situation. And the last one, schema is of aspires knowledge and experience.
Okay, to make sure about my group part, I want to clarify a little bit about schema theory. Schema theory is talk about the prior knowledge or experience that you have before. And in the schema theory, we have three main components. The first one that my group member present, linguistic schemata. It means that the knowledge of language that you have learned before. As for example, you learn English, therefore you have the knowledge in English about the vocabulary and grammar that make you easy to understand the text, right? This is called linguistic schemata. And the next one about the schematic, can one talk about contextual schemata. Contextual schemata is meant refer to the situation that you have met before. For example, one text writing about how to teach the student. If you are being a teacher, you can know. You can read a text and then you make understanding. Oh, this text maybe talk about the teaching student. Therefore, the order of the message which written in the text, maybe you can guess it and you can write. For example, how to lesson plan. You read lesson plan. Oh, first step, open and greeting. And then you have do it before. You used to in that situation, and then you can get information from that real situation and apply it to your reading and make you easy to understand. They will call contextual schemata. And the next one about the schematic schemata, it refers also to the prior knowledge or experience that you have met before to apply into your reading skill in order to make your reading more understandable and easy. That's all for my group part. I want just to clarify a little bit about this part. And the next part is response by Ms. Nanya about bottom-up and top-down theory.
Okay. First of all, hello everyone again. For me, move to the bottom-up theory. Explain the reader schemata. The first one is the bottom-up schemata. The bottom-up schemata, it means that the reader don't have no experience and knowledge. They don't know about the read or use the grammar or vocabulary. They have to pay more attention to grammar, vocabulary, and sentence. That's all for point. And the second point is the top-up theory. The top-up theory explains the high use of the reader schemata. They make guesses or references where the reading. It means that the reader know about the text, and he don't care about the vocabulary or grammar so much because he know very well if to take want to think about it about what. And the last one is interactive reading. Theory explains how a good reader use both of them and turn up the approaches. It means that when reader meets the difficult word or difficult sentence, he need to use the bottom up and top out up. Top-down theory. Top-down theory approach to subsequences and reading the reader will use the interact with the writer to hit or her appropriate schemata. That's all.
Okay, that's all for Nanyaphat. Let's move to Yui.
Okay, so after listening to all my group members about what to get the reading easily to understand. Now let's move to the type of reading. So there are three types of reading. One is intensive reading, and the second one is extensive reading, and the last one is read aloud. So everyone here, intensive reading is a kind of reading that you read silently in order to understand the main idea or information from the text or the gist, and you will be able to answer the question, the comprehension question of the reading text. This we call intensive reading. And then move to the second type is about extensive reading. Here is also referred to a kind of reading that the reader required to read silently. But this reading is to read for fun or pleasure. You can read anywhere you like, and you can choose any topic or title of the reading to read. Because you can read outside the class, inside the class, because you just want to make fun. And the aim of doing this, of reading this, is to improve your confidence and reading skill. And then move to the last point is about reading aloud. Here is the kind of reading that you might read loudly. You want to know your sound, your voice, your pronunciation in order to improve your reading skill and you can pronounce the word correctly and accurately and fluency also. So this type of reading, and actually I just want to add more for our class. I think that the first and the second reading type we should apply for our level, because now I can say that we are in high level and we have to read silently in order to get all the information from the text. So that's all for my presentation. Thank you very much for your pay attention.
Okay, that's all for my presentation. If you have any questions along our presentation, you can ask us, because I think we still have time, right, teacher? If everyone have any question, please ask us. Yes. And I recommend you that, according to my slide presentation, it's not enough for you. If you want to get deeply understanding about the presentation, you can go through our handout, our reference book, effective training strategy. You can get more information than our presentation. For our presentation, just catch up a little information to present you. Okay, Mr. Pierre.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Can you just go back to schemata theory?
Yeah.
Schemata theory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, scheme.
Yeah. Then my question is, I was wondering how that schemata theory really help you with your daily teaching. Give me some example.
Teacher, so can anyone in the group answer? Or?
Anyone, please.
Yes.
Okay, so
Anyone, yeah. I mean, how does it help us in our daily teaching?
Okay.
Show example, yeah, show example.
So schemata theory, as my group member has mentioned about, it means you have already some experience, some knowledge from what you have learned or what you have met before.
Okay.
So this will help you a lot with your reading text. Like there are three types of the schemata here. One is about linguistic schemata. So it's referred to, you know the language before, you have a little bit or more knowledge on it. So when you read something about that language, you will easily understand the text. Here is about linguistic schematic, and the second one is about contextual schemata. You know the word context. Context, it means in environment that you used to be in before, or you in that situation before. So when you meet it again, you can imagine or think very flexible about what will happen, and so you are easily to understand about it very well because you apply yourself in it. And then the last one is about schematic scheme. Schematic scheme is referred to things that happen in order in what we organize. Like my group member has mentioned about he explained about lesson plan. So if you used to be or you have knowledge or experience on it, and then when you just see something happen, you will know what will happen next. So this will get you easily understand the text or the information, the main idea of the reading text.
Okay.
So get it?
Thank you.
And
Thank you
I want to
very
add
much.
more. Mr. Piak, he asked that how can we help our student to learn? It's very necessary because you can know about the student level. You can touch a student, and then if he or she have the schema theory, you can easy to teach them. But if they are not enough, they are not requirement enough in the schema theory, you have to go to the first one that we call bottom-up theory. You can build a basic, a foundation, fundamental. And in the bottom-up theory, we consider about the vocabulary, morphology, syntax, discourse structure, and also phonology. That's in the bottom-up theory. You have to build it up more strong and strengthened.
Amazing, yeah.
To build about the top-down theory. I just add one, but it also related in our presentation reading skill. Top-down theory refer to cultural knowledge, and in cultural knowledge, as one we call contextual schemata is the part of cultural knowledge in the top-down theory, and also content knowledge, content cultural knowledge. It is the criteria of the top-down theory, but I do not put it in our presentation because it seems very complicated. That's all.
Okay, got it. Thank you very much.
Next question.
Any other question, please?
I really like your presentation.
Yes.
Very clear. But I feel that most of you might would like to know about what reading is.
Yes.
So could you please specify this point again about reading?
Yes, teacher.
What reading is?
It's according to the book, reading is very hard to see and observe. Therefore, this is the step of that we can identify what the reading is. That reading skill and process, what the criteria that in the reading is. If we go along to this part, that we can identify the reading is. That we call the receptive skill, decoding process, cognitive skill, and an interactive and engaging skill. This is the criteria of the definition of the reading is. If your student or other have known about this main element of the reading skill, maybe they know about the definition of reading. It's very hard to explain. As the book mentioned, it can see or can observe. It is in process. Reading is in process.
Actually, there are so many definitions of reading.
Yes, teacher.
But based on our handout, the guidebook, can make the summary of what reading is.
Reading is the receptive skill that we can get information from the other source or from other book. And it also the process of describe the encode message from the writer. This is also the part of definition of reading skill. And it also about reading is also can be thinking skill. As you see, reading is thinking skill, which commonly known as mental or cognitive. This is also the definition of the reading.
Can we say reading is the interaction between the reader
Yes, reader and writer.
Printed
Text and writer.
in order to decode the meaning.
Yes.
Is it like that?
Yes, can.
Yeah. If we don't have any interaction between the printed text, we cannot find the meaning of the
Yes.
the thing. So we can make it simple, or we can simplify that. Reading is the interaction between the reader and the printed text to decode the meaning.
The meaning.
And decode the meaning, meant to find out the meaning.
The meaning.
Okay?
Yes, teacher.
Your meaning is so easy to
This is the
understand
understand.
more than us.
Yes.
So we try to simplify.
Yes.
So if it is difficult, we make it simple.
Yes.
Remember that. This is how we do the presentation.
Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Explain. Any more questions, everyone?
No more.
to be very fast. For this one, I would like you to go slow and give more example about intensive reading, extensive reading, and reading loud. Yeah. Slow and
Oh,
example.
reading aloud like that. Okay.
Yes, teacher. So, intensive reading is a kind of reading that the reader reads silently in order to get the meaning, the main idea, or the gist from the text, in order to answer the comprehensive question.
For example.
For example, you are studying a reading in a book. For example, this is a reading. So you might take time to read silently in your mind and try to think about the main idea in order to answer the question. And actually in this skill you might use the skim and scan. You must read the question first in order to get the main word from the question, so you can catch up the answer from the reading fast. Yeah, so this is intensive reading, teacher.
You should understand the word intensive.
Yeah.
You might get familiar with the word intention. You know what intention? Intention.
It means purpose.
Yeah, purpose. Right?
Yeah.
Goal, objective. So why you read? Because you want to find out something about the reading. For example, you want to find the fact and the truth of the reading. For example, who here
Romeo.
Park, right? Who lets the park down?
Solve.
So you read because you want to find out
The answer.
the answer. Yeah. So intensity means you read with your own purpose. Why you read this one? Because you want to get something from the reading. Normally with a short text that we read. That's what called intensive reading. How about extensive reading?
Extensive reading is a kind of reading that the reader just read for fun, read for pleasure, when you are boring, something like that.
Yeah.
And you can, for instance, so you can read it anywhere and you can choose any topic you like to read. Its aim is just to improve your reading skill, your ability. So that's all. For
Can you
example,
read the novel?
novel.
Yes,
Yeah.
novel,
Oh,
Short
yeah.
story.
Yes, teacher.
You read literature, literature. That's all kind of
Extensive reading.
Yeah. You explain, but you take the example.
Oh.
Okay?
Yes, teacher.
You see, extensive you read for fun. What for fun? Any kind of text. It seems to be very general. So you should specify that. For example, the novel, Deal.
Yeah.
Okay?
Comedy.
Yeah, Club Island.
Yes.
That's all kind of extensive
Reading.
Or can be made fantasy available.
Yes, teacher.
How about reading loud?
Read aloud. It means you can read any text very loudly in order to listen to your voice, to listen to your pronunciation, whether you can pronounce the word appropriate or not. And this, I think that you may read it at home or in school in order to, have someone hear your voice and they can also correct your mistake if you have some mistake with your pronunciation.
Last question from Rami, please. Huh? Sorry. Last question, please, before we move to the second group for today. Mr. Sok? Mr. Boon? No. Where are you? No.
From group number 6. A great response.
I just want to know whether you have a question or not.
No question.
Okay, so thank you very much.
He's so shy. Boy, you really rock the class. You really rock and roll.
Tonight, why don't you do the presentation? Even though you are here, Okay, tell me the reason and why will you the score.
One more good enough. We are good. I mean, we are in the first. Good. One. You can say slowly, confidently. You practice.
You can see your voice. You can see your voice. I can see your voice.
Good morning.
Group 1 done already. It should be group 2 because 1 and 2 is the connection.
And the sequence.
Yeah. It makes you understand easily. But very sorry for group number 2 because they are out of order. They mean that not enough member.
And then it's
Not
zero.
yet finished. So just out of order.
You are on the right
That's
track.
why we move to group 3. Not yet done by Mr. Sudan.
Yeah.
He asked me to delay until next week. I said no. It's last time for you.
Until next month.
That's why it's welcome group number 4.
Yay! Ôi cái nhai đó mất.
Tomorrow is your last time. Can you more answer?
Clear nó là mất đó. Oh God. Lúc này góc nam là chết đó sao? Nam ăn là chết. Không thông lên tên. Đây là lục. Giờ này giờ phải ở sông Nam bên kia, để bên môi sông Nam. One, two, three, go.